Well, I haven't done one of these in a while. Hello everybody! That's right, I'm back! In classic Ariel Bissett format, I'm going to be doing a discussion video, which I'm really excited about. So, what am I going to talk about? Well, you already know, because it's in the title of the video. I'm going to talk about annotating your books. It's going to be okay, everybody. So I was on the train, and I was reading this book, All the Bright Places. I've not finished it yet, so I cannot tell you my opinions. But as I was reading it, I had a pen. I don't know why, in that moment, I decided I would start annotating in this book. Now, my entire life, I've been very much keep your books perfect. I buy a book from the store, and it is beautiful and pristine, and that's how I want to keep it. I want to then put it on my bookshelf and have it look beautiful. And while I read it, I want it to be perfect. But in the last little while, I've had a complete 100% shift of opinion because it's not fun anymore. Because when I'm reading a book, I've always been so paranoid. And what's the point of that? I'm so paranoid of breaking the spine, or paranoid of maybe bending one of the pages, or curling the cover or something. And it's legitimately gotten to the point where sometimes I'm reading a book and it's like uncomfortable to hold the book, which is ridiculous. Secondly though, and this for me is kind of the more important point, when you annotate in your books, you start to really make them personal. So I have examples. Example number one, like I said, is All the Bright Places. Not only have I been annotating, I've been dog-earing. That's right. Look at that. I wrote a giant X, another giant X. I said, this is slut-shaming. I wrote all sorts of comments. Sometimes I'm really mean. And you know what? It's fun because it's my book. On page 59, I just wrote a giant ugh. Because this entire passage was so bad. And so, the reason I hadn't done this before, I had this kind of concept that like, if someone came to my personal library and wanted to borrow a book, then they would want a pristine, beautiful version. But here's the thing about that, right? If you want a perfect, pristine, just go to a bookstore. Go to the bookstore and get your own copy. I very much like the idea that if you're going to borrow a book from Ariel, you're going to get the Ariel version of that book. Nobody else has these annotations, okay? And you know what? If I like someday become super mega famous author and I die because this is like 100 years in the future and somebody finds my personal collection, why would I want them to find just a stack of perfect books that anybody could have? Imagine for a moment, if you will, if we found like a bunch of books that George Orwell had, of course I'm talking about George Orwell, and George Orwell wrote notes in them. That would be fantabulous! That would be so amazing to get to read a book and see what did George Orwell think was important? What did George Orwell like? Take a more modern example. What about J.K. Rowling? Imagine you find a copy of The Hunger Games that J.K. Rowling has annotated. What did J.K. Rowling think about The Hunger Games? Well, on this page she wrote stupid, or on this page she wrote brilliant. That would be phenomenal. And I have an example of why it's fantastic. This book, Show Your Work by Austin Kleon, does not belong to me. I am borrowing it from my friend Greg. And Greg, alright, annotated in his book, right here, he wrote, for example, this chapter starts with, close your eyes and imagine you're a wealthy collector, blah blah blah. And Greg wrote, then I can't read the book if I close my eyes. So that's just a funny joke that when I was reading it, I thought was hilarious. And it's amazing that I kind of feel like I'm reading this book with Greg sitting beside me because I'm getting to hear his little comments. Not only that though, I get to see what did he underline, what did he put stars beside, what passages did he think were important. And so what I've done is I bought the other book that this author wrote, and now I have annotated this book loads. And while I was reading this, I annotated it, so I'm going to give these books back to Greg, and then he'll get the same experience. And it's so much fun. At the end of the day, let's come to the conclusion, if we shall. At the end of the day, I have come to love the idea that my collection is my collection because it's littered with my ideas. What parts did I like? What parts did I hate? What parts do I think were badly edited? What parts do I think were so interesting that I want to underline and put stars beside? And also, convenience. If I don't have a bookmark, you bet that I'm going to dog-ear that page. You know what? Yell at me in the comments. That's fine. I would love to hear your opinions on this one. Give it a shot. That's what I really want. I want everybody to read the book that they're currently reading and try annotating it a little bit. If you feel scared about pen, try pencil. You can always erase that. And maybe tweet me or just put in the comments of this video how you feel about it, because I found it extremely liberating. The second that pen hit that page, I just felt like a new woman. Also, did you see I got an amazing new earring? I'm so cool now. I'll see you guys in my next one.